So this item I pull out because I can tell the way that it is tied, it is a trap. If it was not so brittle, we would be able to pull it out and it would be used as a snare. It was probably a moose or wolf snare because you could tell that this will probably build out to a circle about this big. It would be put on the willows in an area of known tracks. So then it would slip down. You can see that it has a slip area. So when the animal walked into it, then it would tighten up, and as they would struggle, it would suffocate them, and we would be able to come and harvest the animal. So this was a hunting tool. It is made out of walrus. You can tell that by the way the skin is so thick. Walrus skin also has these little tiny hairs that you see on this that I can tell are walrus hairs. And the density of the skin was a very strong rope. This skin would have been made while it was, still soft before it dries, because you have to cut the various slits in it before it dries and to form it into this fashion, so when it dries it stays a very solid knot and doesn't come off. And so even though a moose is a big animal, this would have held that moose. It would have been anchored into something that would have been buried down into the ground, because our willows are small and they can be centuries old, but they're very small. They often in our area only grow a few feet, but further downriver and further south they can be feet tall. Upriver there's willows 12 feet tall. But it would have had to have been anchored down. Oftentimes they will bury something down into the ground, because you put that down into the ground and it freezes over. It's a strong anchor, and so the moose wouldn't get away. And then we would be able to come back and harvest it. So this one is an important tool for many different uses. We could make ropes for different usages. We could even use them to pull in the bowhead whale. And so putting on different floats to help us track the bowhead whale using a seal skin, put a stopper in it, it's a float, it would be tied off with one of these strings, and that would be how we would track a bowhead whale after we harpoon it. It might take a little while before it fully succumbs to the strike, but the rope like that would be so strong that the seal skin attached to it would float along. Even if the whale went underwater, that skin would come up, and that would be our marker to follow the whale and make sure we harvest it. Then we would use ropes like this to braid together to make an even stronger rope, and that's how we would tow the whale into shore to cut it all up.